I'm just making a bit of a drama out of this. I hope you don't mind me making a point, but anyway. So, that's such a cheap shot. It's very hard to generalize. Some schools are honestly doing amazing things. I'm very involved in the whole educational scene at the moment. When I was chair of the Sustainable Development Commission, we had a really big push on education, for sustainability in schools, and I've stayed involved in that movement ever since then, since the Commission was wound up by the Conservative government in 2010. I should say Conservative and Lib Dems, just in case there are any Lib Dems here who still feel guilt at that collective act of dereliction. You never know. And I've stayed involved in this, and what I see at the moment going on in the UK is an incredibly varied tapestry of different school responses to this. And the schools that have decided this is really a big, big story are just going for it. And they're finding ways of mixing it into the curriculum, finding ways of ensuring that their own school becomes something of an exemplar in terms of more efficient, low carbon, more nature-friendly ways of providing educational experiences for young people. And that's all really good. And there's a kind of community push on all of that, reaching out into the community, and I could cite you hundreds of schools which are deeply committed to that kind of commitment on behalf of their young people. In loco parentis, taken pretty damn seriously when it comes to schools not being party to a pattern of continuing destruction of life on Earth, to put it bluntly. But other schools don't seem to give a thing, frankly, hardly doing anything. Rarely seem to be involved in the initiatives that many of the young people in those schools would like them to be involved in. It's a very mixed picture. I'm pretty much on the side of a revolutionary approach to this that I think we're going to see, as I've written about in Hope in Hell, what I call a cry of intergenerational rage. I think more and more young people are going to see for themselves pretty soon just how serious this abandonment of them and their generation is. I think they're already with Greta Thunberg when she castigates politicians for 30 years of blah, 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 which is actually a much more succinct summary of the last 30 years than the one I gave you earlier this evening. I could have just said, channel your inner Greta, just blah, 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 that's what it's been. But for me, I'm Chancellor of the University, Keele University. I don't see enough young people, I'm going to be absolutely honest about this, I don't see enough young people quite angry enough about what has happened. It's probably not my role to act as an incendiary chancellor, but on occasions, when I've been meeting the student union in Keele, I have sort of puzzled my troubled brow, and I've sort of asked, why? What is going on? Why are we not seeing a series of insurrections all across the country at what is happening? Universities are doing slightly better than a lot of schools. So it's a really critical question. Do I think we're going to see a big change process over the next few years in all educational establishments? I really do. Because awareness of what is going on, where we're headed now, is rising every year. And when that sinks in, whether you're 12, 15, 18, 25, whatever it might be, you're going to turn to people in positions of authority, whether that be your parents or your teachers or people who make things work in your community, and you're going to say, what, is that it? Is that your best shot? That's what you're taking us towards? A 2.5 degree centigrade change by the end of the century, when I will still be alive, not me, obviously, but the young person is likely still to be alive in 2100.